Friday afternoon. I am attempting to wrap things up in the office before Christmas, but I've been in and out of the office all day just with stuff with the family. So I've made a cup of tea. I've come in. I'm doing my last little bit before I switch things off for a little while. And I wanted to share with you some of my biggest lessons for 2018. There have been a ton. And I'd really love to know what's been brewing for you this past week as you are wrapping up your 2018, but also contemplating your 2019. Now, we all put so much pressure on ourselves to have everything figured out for the new year, have everything planned, to know exactly what we're doing and all of that stuff. Sometimes we don't know exactly what that is. And I just want to let you know that that's okay. Because what we need to do at the end of the year is we need to allow that space and that integration time in between to really figure out what the lessons have been that we have taken on throughout the year. So my work, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Tash Vanzetti, Discovery Coach and Mentor, and I help women from all over the globe get really clear on their big idea. But most of my work actually stems, or especially now, stems around helping people see what's getting in their way. To understand the stories that they have been falling for and the stories that keep them playing small. Because we all have skills and expertise and visions and ideas and all the things we want to do, but we are the one that was standing in our way. We are the ones that keep self-sabotaging, doubting, stopping, falling for denial, falling for avoidance, falling for all the things that stop us from doing what we know we want to do. And that's probably one of my biggest lessons, is that we stand in our way too much. So all the work I do around discovery and clarity with clients, that's just the first piece of the puzzle. And that, we tie together a few things to get to the point of what do you actually want to do. Most of the work comes when we have to actually implement, when we have to step into the ideas that we have. And that is where it's vital. And it's so important that you understand the process that you are putting your mind through when you try and grow, when you try and iterate, when you try and stretch outside of your comfort zone. Because that is a whole other process in itself that until you've been through it several times, you may not fully understand it. You may not be able to catch it soon enough. And therefore, this process that you go through can lead to burnout, can lead to doubt, hesitation, all the things that we all fall for. But what I found again and again is if you understand the process, if you can see these stories for what they are, if you can take the steps to manage them along the way, it is a much easier journey for you to step into the bigger, bolder, more audacious goals that you have. So what do I mean by that? Generally, we all have a story that's going on within us. We all have multitudes of stories that are going on within us. These are stories, these are set thoughts that we have again and again, our habit of thought, which cause a belief, which all intertwine together. We throw a heap of emotion into that, and it creates a big bowl of steaming hot story that really directs our life and guides us through everything we want to do, the decisions we make, the actions we take, the things we avoid, the things we don't even see, the things that aren't even on our radar. All of that is driven through story. And I often say the most important story of all is the one that we tell ourselves. So quite often you might be wondering why things aren't happening the way you wanted them to, or you keep saying, I'm so stuck, I don't know what to do next, I'm so stuck. You're only stuck because you're not moving. You are stuck because you are sitting in inaction. You are in your head trying to figure all the things out before you make a move. And that is a little bit us about. What you need to do is actually get clarity, set that foundation point in place, get clarity on where your strength is, what your bigger vision is, like what are the pieces, your story, style, and experience, like what have you got to offer? How do you want to show up in the world? Not what am I here to do, more who am I here to be? When you've got that foundation piece in place and you start to take action, forward movement into that space, that is when true clarity comes. That is when you start to build confidence, because confidence does not come once you have everything figured out. Confidence comes when you embrace the fact that we are all a glorious work in progress, that the more you show up and try new things and take those stepping stones to, that summit that you're trying to reach, that is when confidence comes in. And when you have that foundation in place, that foundation of clarity, even if you don't know exactly all of the next steps you've got to take, you kind of know the general direction that you're heading. and it makes things much easier. You know more of what to say no to, which also helps your decision of what to say yes to. If you don't have this clarity piece in place, and if you don't understand the thoughts and beliefs and habits that you have going on consciously and subconsciously, it is like trying to build a business on quicksand. So if you were going to build your home, you would want a nice, firm, solid foundation in place before you put any structures up whatsoever. What we don't realise when we go into business is this is uncharted territory for a lot of us. We have come from cushy careers, we have come from jobs, we have come from certainty, from things we're familiar with. We haven't really pushed ourselves to the degree you're going to have to push yourself in business. And we don't have a solid foundation of thoughts and beliefs, generally. Some of us do. I have definitely been a big work in progress on this, and this is my biggest lesson, that unless I get a solid foundation in my thoughts, in my habits, and in my beliefs, unless I get a handle on the story that I'm telling myself, I do not have a solid foundation. I do not have clarity, and I would not be able to get confidence and momentum and traction in whatever I do going forward. If you try and build a business when you don't have those stories nailed, when you don't have an understanding of, the thoughts that you're going through on a subconscious level, then your belief system is shaken about. And it's something that when you start messing with that, your internal, the internal part of you that will take the action you need to take will shut down, because it goes into safety mode, it goes into protect mode. So if you are trying to build a business on a shaky foundation, it's like trying to build a business on quicksand. You will get the first few structures in place and then it will just sink and crumble, because your belief system does not reinforce, has not been solid enough to take that structure on, to take that business on, to take that direction on, because there is a story inside of you that doesn't believe it's possible, or quite often that there's all these other stories going on. It's not possible for me. I don't know what I'm here to do. Everyone else is already doing this. Like, whatever the story is, there's something going on. So if you are finding yourself frustrated that you try these things and they keep crumbling, it's because your foundation is probably a little bit more like quicksand than a nice, solid, firm foundation. Now, I can say this because that was me for the first many, many years of business. I would constantly try these things and I would have some success, but I'd get to a certain level in business and then things would start to crumble, or I'd hesitate, or I'd doubt myself, or I'd, whatever the thing was. What I have learned is there was a whole ton of stories going on there and a whole stack of beliefs that did not support what I consciously wanted. I consciously wanted growth and independence and freedom, and I wanted to make a big impact, and that all sounds amazing and they're all things that we want, but I didn't have the underlying belief system that I thought that was possible. And it was hard to face, because I had success in a career, I had success in other things, but this was so far out of my comfort zone. This was so far above the reality that I had ever experienced, that I kept sabotaging myself. So I'm sharing this with you in the hope that if you start to, as you are reflecting on 2018 and as you are getting ready for 2019, don't beat yourself up if things haven't worked. Just ask some questions about what might be going on here. Like, do I have a rock solid foundation in place? Am I really crystal clear about what I want to do, where I'm going, where my value is, and what I'm here to achieve, who I'm here to impact, and who I'm going to be in the world? It's not necessarily your value doesn't come from what you're doing. Your value comes from who you're being. Again, that was another hard lesson that I've had to learn for myself. And to also just understand that this process of discovery that we all go through, it's a process. You will get to a point where you think, yes, I've got this sorted, and then you will be doing really well for a little while, and then you'll get this other idea, or your scope will be widened, you'll be able to see more, and then you'll go, you know what, I want to try something else. And then that foundation is tested again, because it's like, oh, if there's not a belief system there that's going to support that growth, it's not going to happen. So I just want you to be really kind to yourself as you're contemplating 2018, as you're looking to the future for 2019. Just check in with yourself and see what stories are going on under the surface. Does your underlying belief system support the growth that you want to have? And if you keep stumbling and keep falling and keep hesitating, my guess is maybe it isn't. And what I'm going to be doing over the next few weeks as we lead into 2019 is really sharing some of the key tools that I've been using to really bed down that foundation for your success and your growth going forward. Because like I said, the most important story of all is the one that we tell ourselves, and it needs to be a really good one. It needs to support our growth and our evolution instead of keeping us stuck exactly where we are today. So that is it from me. I'm going to wrap up. I'm going to finish up a couple of things here at my desk, attempt to switch off for a little while. But yeah, watch this space. I'm going to be coming to you from the beach over Christmas and just sharing some of my biggest ahas, surprises, tools, insights, all of the things, so you can have a really strong start to your 2019. So have an amazing holiday, have an amazing break, be really kind to yourself, be really gracious to yourself, rest, sleep, nap, eat, run, hike, ski, whatever it is you're going to be doing, and just make the absolute most of it, because every day that we are given is a true gift, and I want us to all embrace that and understand that and know that there is never a wrong turn. Okay, there is never a wrong turn. There is just a lesson and a stepping stone to what's out there waiting for you. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. Have an amazing year, and I will talk to you very, very soon. See ya.